Mark, tell us a little about you and when you first entered the RV industry.
Okay, born and reared in Southern California, born in 1956. My first job right out of high school was building trailers for a mainstream RV company, Alpha Leisure Incorporated.
All right, tell us about the history of Warrior and its success.
I'm going to tell this in two parts because there's the beginning, which we spent 10 years just learning what we were doing, and then the rocket years when the economy took off, and so did we. The first time we had a standard product line, they were toy box trailers, dual purpose RVs. The back, it was like a regular RV with full-blown living quarters, bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, living room. But the back of the trailer dropped down and you rolled your vehicles inside of it, your Harleys or your off-road vehicles, and the carpet rolled out and the dinette folded up, and i.e. a dual-purpose RV. We built some standard product line, and then people would come to us and need them longer or race setups and bigger vehicles, and so a lot of custom stuff. And the custom stuff took us in all kinds of different directions, from movie studio honey wagons, mobile dark rooms, concession stands for swap meets and fairs, to all kinds of race car trailers and some of the top names in the industry building custom race trailers and trucks to travel across the country and do racing circuits. This 10 years we paid our dues, we learned our way, we dealt with customers, we built a dealer network, and pretty modest in the beginning. We were just a niche market and doing a good job and getting really good at what we were doing. The second part of it, the rocket years after 97, it kind of took off. Off-roading became more and more popular. Real estate was going crazy. People had money to buy toys and buy trailers. And we were growing, well, all of a sudden we started growing like crazy. In 97, I think we did 7 million in gross sales, and by the next year we'd done 11 million, and the year after that we did 18, and the year after that we did 24, and the year after that we did 42 million, and then 60. It was incredible growth, and the trailers were selling better and better. The nicer we made them, the better they sold. We took a niche market, and it was getting so popular that all of a sudden all the bigger companies, all the what you would call the Detroit Four in the auto industry, in the RV industry, said, boy, we can build those too, and everybody and their brothers started copying what we were doing. It didn't change we came to terms with losing market share, but we were building more trailers than we'd ever built by leaps and bounds. What had happened was when the big boys got in the business and parked them on every corner and were selling them, it legitimized what we were doing. And of course, we were the experts in it. We had the best product, and people could tell. Even though we were more expensive, we were selling 2 to 1 more than the other biggest brands. So we grew to, in the heyday, I mean, by 2005, we were doing 30 coaches a day, and still growing 50% a year. The last year, we grew $54 million in gross sales, shipped and delivered. That's growth. Let me explain what that means. In order to have $54 million in growth, it means at the beginning of the year you don't have any, and at the end of the year you've ended with $54 million in growth. Literally, that's a factory doing $100 million in sales by the end of the year, from 0 to $100 million, to be able to end a year with $54 million in growth. That's a 100,000 square foot factory with 500 employees in it working full time. It was incredible growth.
So what was it like to work at Warrior?
We were a team. We were a family. We did things together. We knew what each other thought. We knew what we were going to do before we did it. It was like magic. It was what I called all the planets and all the moons aligned and aimed on Warrior for about 10 years in a row. We could do nothing wrong. Everything we did was a home run, and we had the awe of the industry. They would just look at us and go, boy, it can't be done. Yet my team of people got it done. They were magical.
So tell us what happened to Warrior. Why aren't you building trailers for the last 2 years?
This is a story. To make a long story short, I got in bed with a bank to finance the growth. And when the economy got crazy, they got scared and got stupid and basically liquidated the company's assets to get their money back. To make a long story short.
Okay. So what really happened that caused Warrior to fail?
In hindsight, the real estate crashed pretty hard, and the market changed from what we were selling to 50% of what we're selling. So over about a 3-month period, the market cut in half. And with 10 years of this crazy growth, the dealers had their inventories. We had a dealer network over the U.S. selling traders. Their inventories were way too high, even for the growth that we had. And when the market went to half, every dealer needed to cut their inventory in more than half. So literally, the dealers were still selling half of the units they were, but they were reordering none from the factory. They were selling them, but they weren't reordering them. So literally, if you were an RV factory in 2008 and you didn't have enough money to survive 6 months or a year without building any trailers, you went out of business. And 50% of the RV manufacturers in 2008 went out of business. We were just one of them.
So was there a lesson to be learned?
Yeah. Banks are bad business partners. We were cowboys. We should have never gotten in bed with the banks. Had all their T's crossed and their I's dotted, and they had a lot less risk. They had a lot less tolerance for risk than I did. We were cowboys, yeehaw, and they were scared.
So do you have a new plan?
Yeah, right now as we speak, after over 2 years, we finally saved a building. We had one of the acquisitions in the growth we did was Extreme RVs. We'd acquired a couple of companies, nice brands, Raging RV and Extreme RV, and both those in the toy hauler business. At one time in the business, there were 54 manufacturers building toy box type trailers. Warrior was one of them, Raging was another, and Extreme was a third one. At one time, Warrior was number 1 by 2 to 1. Raging was number 3, and Extreme was number 5. So I had had acquired and built 3 of the top 5 companies in the ramp trailer business. Extreme was one of them up in Caldwell, Idaho. They did a wonderful job. They built a great product, and they came from wonderful beginnings. They were an icon in the industry. They built kit. It was kit manufacturing in the beginning that also developed the Extreme RV, which was the ramp trailer version of the RVs they built. Kit was the old teardrop trailers in 1945, so they'd been around since 1945. We acquired them in about 2003 or 2004, at least 50% of it. And those guys were able to save the factory and the equipment and all the material from the bank. They had the same trouble we had with the banks, but they were able to wrestle away from the bank their equipment and material. So we have a factory in Idaho. Actually, right now as we speak, we're already building trailers. We've been building mainstream RVs since February or March of this year at the rate of 2 or 3 a week. We have been using up all of the material that we had acquired from the bank, material that we really can't use with the new generation of ramp trailers and weekend warriors. So we got about 8 or 10 more of those units, maybe 3 or 4 more weeks of those units to build, and then the next generation of the new weekend warriors are going to start hitting the marketplace.
So where are you right now with the new factory?
We're at about 2. We're building 2 trailers a week right now as we speak. So we have the first bunch of trailers sold to a few dealers in the western states. So I'm going to say somewhere around October and November, you'll be able to see the new Weekend Warrior trailers on lots in the western 11 states. And we're going to go from there. We'll grow to where the market is. We're actually starting grassroots from the beginning.